Hello, everybody. Welcome back to High Five Resale Shop. My name is Derek. I've been selling on eBay for 17, 18 years now, and just trying to let people know if they're starting out on eBay, some of the things that they can sell on eBay, and any tricks and tips that I might have for people that can help them get started on eBay. We'll go through the stuff that sold over the weekend, and then I also wanted to talk about a couple of things today. I want to talk about left-hand navigation through eBay and how to use that as a seller in your listings, and then talk about a little bit about shopping, how people shop on their phones and on computers. But let's go through the things that sold this weekend on eBay. I'm going to start off. We sold these Skechers Bobs memory foam. They're espadrille, off-white ivory 8.5 women's. Got these at Academy for $9.98, and we sold those for $23.10. Those are some of the last shoes to sell from the first time I went to Academy and bought shoes. If you're looking to do that, you go to Academy, you go to their clearance section, and I was just looking for shoes that when they rip the tops off the boxes, I think they go for less. But also, as long as they've been there a while, they start getting marked down seriously. So I just looked for the ones that were $9.95 and below, and I got a whole cart full of them one time. The Nikes sold really good. We're just getting near baseball season, so we'll see if the cleats disappear that I bought the last time. So the first time I just bought shoes and sneakers, and the second time I bought mostly cleats. So we will see if the cleats sell or not coming through. Occasionally I've sold a cleat or two here or there from that group, but the majority of them are still sitting in inventory. So we will see if those sell. They're up between $40, $50, $60. That's what their going rate was on eBay, so we'll see if they sell now that baseball season is going to be kicking into gear shortly for kids and stuff like that. So the next item that sold was a shirt. It was ended and sold similar on 3/17, so about a month after it's been ended and sold similar, it sold, and it is just like a sheer Lane Bryant shirt. It's got these colorful polka dots on it. It's an 18-20, so it's a larger size. And this blouse sold for $7.99 plus shipping on top. And you gotta believe that Heading and Sell Similar is what caused it to sell, because it got a new life as a new listing when I relisted it. So instead of having this shirt sitting in my inventory and in storage, I probably have like $5 in my pocket after all the fees and stuff are paid for. So good deal. The next one is also a really old item. Is it a 4X? It's a 4X Big Dogs yellow attitude, genuine attitude shirt, short sleeve t-shirt. So it is a big shirt for a big dog. So that shirt sold for $16.10, so pretty good price on that. It's a men's shirt, so I hope the person enjoys that shirt. The next item came out of a storage locker. The whole storage locker when we purchased it. We purchased the storage locker for about $20. There was a couple of like fees and stuff in there, so maybe $25 and tax. But this five-piece bowls with the lids to go with it from Members Mark. It's new. I had it up on eBay new without box because I didn't know where the box was. I know the box came out of the storage locker and everything, but I didn't know where it was at the time, and then we found it. So they're gonna get the box as well, as if it was like brand spanking new. The bowls have a floral pattern on some of them, and some of them are solid colors. So those sold for $21 plus shipping. So paid for that storage locker that was not very good with just the one item. I've sold some other stuff from that storage locker, some smaller stuff, but that was not a really good storage locker. The next item, hold on while I grab it. It's a baseball card. So this is the card, and they just bought one. It's this Tony La Russa card when he was with the White Sox. This is a promo card given out on Coca-Cola Day, and it is things from like approximately 1983. Oh, 86. It says on there 1986 promo card. A lot of space on the back. I think they meant you to get autographs on these. And this sold for $3.10. It's going to go out eBay standard envelope. But like, here's where I keep the baseball cards in the office and stuff. I don't have too much still up. But I do have like these. These are some of my favorite because this takes me back in the day. But these McDonald's Chicago Bears scratch off cards. These were a major thing when I was growing up in Chicago. Those were a big deal. When the Bears went to the Super Bowl 20. And they beat the New England Patriots in 1985-86. Anyway, back from memory lane. The next item that sold is this Matchbox car, this Harry Potter Matchbox car. The 1962 Ford Angelina. So that's sold. Then let me get the next item that's sold. It's over here. Here it is. It is a black size juniors large 11 to 13 skirt, and that sold for $3.74 plus shipping on top. Oh, the Harry Potter card. Well, let's go back a ways. The baseball card, $3.10 plus shipping on top. The Harry Potter Matchbox card on card, $4 plus shipping on that. And what is next? Then skirt, $3.74 plus shipping on top. And that we should be current now. And then the next item was this yellow shirt from the makers called Left of Center, and it's solid yellow shirt with like a ruffle at the bottom, and this came out of what I call the McDonald's franchisee estate sale that I went to, and I paid a little less than $4 an item there, and this sold for $11.20 plus shipping on top. The next item that sold with these vintage American optical safety eyewear. Made in the USA glasses with a gray frame. I'm going to take them out here and show them to you. The box is in really good condition for being probably from the 60s or 70s. There's no real wear to that box. It's got this instruction card on it. The biggest problem with these is that the glass has been rubbing up against that cardboard. The frame, the glass on the glasses, it's been rubbing against that cardboard for I don't know, 1960s ish. So that's 40, maybe 60 years. So there are some minor scratches on the glass, but these are the safety glasses. They don't have the side pieces on them or anything like that, but very interesting. That sat in my death pile forever, and then I'd really be interested. Let me see when I actually listed this. Let's go and look. I listed it on the 4th, and it's sold by the 14th. So when you list good stuff out of your death pile, it will sell. So that is a lesson. I mean, death piles are just money sitting in one pile together. So the next item that sold, those glasses sold for $20 plus shipping on top. So just a $20 bill sitting in a pile in the storage area. The next item is this Adidas gray with blue stripes. Blue piping here on the side. And it's got like white stripes there. This is a large track jacket for women's, and it sold for $5.99 plus shipping on top. The next item that I sold is this United Colors of Bennington, gray with a blue pocket, extra large men's shirt. This sold for $6.93 plus shipping on top. It has this like peppered, I call it peppered. I don't know if anybody else calls it peppered, but I call it peppered look to it. Sold for $6.93 plus shipping on top. The next item is this Basic Editions beige and white boat neck blouse 2X. It's got some buttons on the top of the shoulders. It's just striped. And this sold for $5.99 plus shipping on top. Excuse me. And then this sold Water and Woods green camo large with a moose print on it. Flannel shirt, so you can see the moose on here, and it's got that woodsy feel to it. $14 plus shipping on top for that. And then the next item is the last item, and this I think I listed last week. I listed April 8th, which is Tuesday of last week, and it has already sold. So here's a book, The Topical Index and Digest of the Bible by Harold Monsner from 1960. It is a reprint, a 1960 reprint, hardcover, and this sold for $15.99 plus shipping on top. And it's like a 2.5 pound book. It's pretty stout. And that is everything that sold over the weekend. The weekend wasn't terribly awesome. I wish it was a little bit better, but we are blessed nonetheless to have those things sell over the weekend. What is that? How many? 14 items? 14 items that sold over the weekend. So the thing we wanted to talk about is left-hand navigation. So what you want to do to be a better seller is figure out how people look for things. So my dog recently chewed up my flip-flops. So I was extremely upset with the dog, and now I got to find a new pair of flip-flops, because those flip-flops are going to last me probably 5 or 6 more years until the dog chewed through them, and now they're gonna he was chewing on the thong part of it, so that's going to give way at any point, probably in the worst possible time. So I'm going to switch the way the camera is, and I'll be right back with you. Hold on. Okay, so here's my screen, and so when you put in your title here, like your listing title, what's going to come up is the exact thing that the person types in. So when I go to look for these flip-flops, I put in Reef flip-flops, and then I start using the left-hand navigation to kind of whittle my way down to exactly what I need to be looking for. So when your listing says, let me go to a listing page here. Active. And when you go to a listing page, the item specifics are sell a similar item. The item specifics are the thing that are in the left-hand navigation. This is why about 3 or 4 years ago, eBay was so adamant about people filling in this left-hand, these item specifics. This is what's going to be in the left-hand navigation that makes it possible for people to look. These ones down here, these optional ones, these aren't as important. People don't look for these things as often. They do sometimes, because you see here, this says the lining material has been searched 707,000 times, right? The theme has been looked up 546,000 times. So these are searchable, but people don't use them quite as often as they're going to use these. And of course they're going to use these. They're going to look for their size. They're going to look for what type of jacket they're looking for, maybe even the brand. Because let's go back to the other screen here. I put in that I'm looking for the exact kind of flip-flops that I had before. I might upgrade to a leather strap or something, but I'm looking for Reef flip-flops. So I've narrowed it down, thousands and thousands of flip-flop listings to just the brand I'm looking for, right? And then I can narrow it down even further by looking at all the 10s, size 10s. And now I've narrowed it down even more. And then I can go through and start looking for it. I can narrow it down more by the color. So I'm not going to look through an endless amount of listings. But as you can see, here's the sizes here on the left-hand navigation. Here's the color, the season. Of course, they're pretty much all summer. But, and then there's the features, which was in the additional stuff and the occasion. But the most important stuff, it has already narrowed it down to the category men's, which you put in the initial item specifics. So I will just end up looking through these listings here to find a suitable replacement for those flip-flops. So that is why those item specifics are so important and crucial, is because it helps with this left-hand navigation over here, and that is how people look up stuff up on their personal computers. On the phone, they do the same thing. They just do it by filters, which is the same thing as left-hand navigation. The one thing you have to remember about your phone is the picture I'm looking up at here on the computer. Let me see here. It is, let's see here. It is about 4 inches by 2.5, maybe 2.5, 3 inches. Okay. And, but when it's on the phone, it's like an inch by inch, maybe an inch by 2 inches. It's not very big. So guess what? Your pictures have to be spot on the phone if you're going to get customers to bite on your listing. So just remember that you have to have really good photos for people to shop on their phones. Now, as you can see, like, look at this person. So, Reef flip-flops. This person apparently thinks less is more. And sometimes less is more, but I think this is a little bit on the edge of too much less. But I like to fill up 80 characters with as many things as I possibly can. I think put as many items, description parts in there that I can. But some people don't think that way. I'd be interested to hear from this person. I don't know, I don't know who it is, but do they get good traction with this little work they're doing in there to put it up? So, but that's their philosophy, I suppose. Either that's their philosophy or they're really lazy. So, slip this. So that is what I was talking about with left-hand navigation, how to use it, how to utilize it. When you don't use the drop-down menu in those additional item specifics or required areas for item specifics, just know that you may put in that information, which I do it all the time, but it may be precise, but it's not searchable. You know what I mean? Like, the customer is never going to put that word in that left-hand navigation to search for that item. It's never going to happen. It'll be there in your listing, so it'll help them, decipher what's going on with your listing, any attributes you might say for your listing, but it's not going to be searchable for the customer. So it's going to be there strictly inside your listing to tell your customer what's going on with the item. So what I'm saying is, like, if there's a color required and you get the drop down menu and you don't like any of the colors that they've given you, if you put in like the word almond, beige almond, or whatever, no one's ever going to search by that specific thing. So if you put in salmon, which they actually should have salmon in there as a color, I don't know why they don't, but they have beige, black, blue, brown, clear, gold, gray, green, ivory, multicolor, orange, pink, purple, red, silver, white, and yellow. They don't have teal. You can put teal in there if you want to, but it's not searchable. You could put salmon in there, but it's not searchable. You kind of need to pick orange or pink, whatever you think it is, more geared towards choose that color, and then put salmon in your title, if that makes any sense. Um, use the drop down menu to your benefit, like whatever it's closest to, so it gets lumped into those things when a person searches for it using left hand navigation, and then that person can weed it out if it doesn't fit their thing. Another thing about titles is don't put in things that aren't actually true about your item. Like if you think it looks like a Gucci item, don't put the word Gucci in there ever. That's keyword spamming, and it's not allowed, and you might get a Vero for it. So it's just a bunch of trouble. If you think it looks like something, just try it to describe it the best you can without using "it looks like this." That would be my best advice on that. But that is what I want to talk today about. If you have any questions or comments about what I said today, I'd love to hear it. You can message me down below in the comments or leave a comment below, and I'd love to respond to it. If you have any questions on how I do things, how I sell stuff, I'd love to answer those questions either in the comments or in my next video. I appreciate everybody who's watching, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Remember that God loves you. I went to a men's conference this weekend, and it was really good to hear a lot of positive word about the gospel, and remember that God is just reaching out. He wants to hold your hand. He wants to walk with you. He wants to have a conversation with you. So remember that, and remember to always give yourself a good old high five. See you next time.